Birds of a feather flock together. It's an old-time saying that perhaps some of you who are younger may not have heard. And a friend made reference to it earlier this morning as she was talking about her grandmother and how her grandmother wanted to make sure that she chose good friends that would be a good influence on her. And it had me thinking, because I grew up hearing that, but I honestly had not heard it in years. And it had me thinking about something that I've made reference to before and a lot of other people have made reference to before. And it's the idea that we are the sum total of the 5 people that we hang out with the most. And so the idea with birds of a feather flock together is that we are drawn to people who are like us. But ideally, we will be drawn to people who are like who we want to become. And they'll be willing to accept us into their circle because they see our desire to grow and to become more like they are in one way or another. And so how are we impacted by the people that we hang out with? Well, let's take a look. If you hang out with somebody who is always complaining about how unfair the world is, odds are you're going to start to see more things in your life that are unfair. Now, here's the reality. We all experience things in our lives that are unfair, but our choice is what we're going to do about it and how we're going to focus on it. And if we're simply surrounding ourselves with people who are always talking about how unfair it is and nothing is ever right for them, that's going to impact us. That's probably going to impact who we're going to become. If we hang out with people who are physically adventurous, they go on hikes and climb to higher elevations. They want to become a better skier so they can go on the more challenging slopes. They're accustomed to challenging themselves physically. If those are the people we hang out with, are we going to just sit by the fire at the ski lodge? We may never attain their level of expertise on the ski slope, but in all probability, we're going to push ourselves because we want to become more like them, which means that we want to become more physically adventurous. One of the things that absolutely bugs me in our society is what I call the celebration of victimization. And that goes something like this. Because of X, you can't do Y. Because of X, we don't expect you to do Z. We tend to live up to or down to the expectations that are placed on us. Years ago, I read a survey or a study that left a lasting impression on me. And hopefully I'll get enough of the details right for it to leave a lasting impression on you. And at the beginning of a school year, the teacher for one class of students who had been star students the year before, they had been advanced, they were above grade level in all of their subjects. Their teacher this new year was told, these kids really have a tough time of it. They just don't seem to be able to get the material. And then there was another class where the previous year the students really hadn't done well and hadn't gotten the material. And their teacher was told, "These students are amazing. You will be absolutely blown away with everything that they accomplish and how they are just stellar, top of the class students." I think you know where this is probably going. At the end of the next year, the students who had previously been stars were now mediocre at best. And the students who had been barely mediocre were now stars. The power of expectation. When you look at who you want to hang out with, do you want to hang out with people that are motivated to climb their ladder of success? Do you want to hang out with people who see the best in you and encourage you that you can do whatever it is that you think it is you want to do? Do you want to hang out with people who are always putting you down? People who are telling you you don't matter? People that are telling you, because you experienced this or because of that, you're never going to amount to anything. Birds of a feather flock together. We become who we hang out with. So here's what my encouraging recommendation for you and for me is. This afternoon, make a list of something that you want to accomplish. A professional goal, a personal goal, or perhaps a trait of character that you want to improve because it's something that you value. And then look around. Look around in the people who are in your physical world. Look around at the people who are in your online world. Look around at the people you listen to, physically and online. Who is it that excels in something that you want to excel at? Who is it that has an attribute of character that you aspire to? There are few things that I consider to be a greater compliment than for somebody to say, "I really respect how you, would you help me learn to do that better?" I'm not talking about people who are paying for my services. I'm talking about people who are reaching out because they want to draw me into their circle, because there's something I have that they want. Most of the times it's something small. It's something simple. And what I can do is give them a few steps that I would consider to be helpful for them to attain it, and then stay connected with them to encourage them to go through the process and then celebrate with them when they attain it. Why does that matter to me? Because I've had people that I reach out to, people who have been kind to me, people who have shared something of their journey to help me on my journey. People who have encouraged me And when I hold up the mirror, they're looking over my shoulder to say, see how amazing you're becoming? See what you're doing? That's a gift that we can give each other. So when you look for who you want to hang out with, I would encourage you to do two things. Be there for somebody else who aspires to have an ability, a talent, or a trait of character that you have, and support them on their journey. And look for somebody who has an ability, a talent, or a trait of character you aspire to, and ask them to be there on your journey. Become birds of a feather that flock together and create the absolute best flocks imaginable.